So, Monisha, talking about now the future of recruitment, because right now you might heard about Chat GPT and everything, how it is, changing dynamics of a job completely.
See the culture.
Only evaluated by a human, not by any.
Maybe one round can be done by a human. That round maybe from the hiring manager itself. Correct? So why recruiters are needed when there is a bot? Just one round can be taken for that cultural fitment. A hiring manager can take one round. A 30 minutes of discussion can decide something.
So, what about the negotiation part?
Oh, negotiation is again.
There needs to be a recruiter.
yes, they need
Negotiation, of course.
hiring manager also can negotiate. There are certain times when at the end of the day, while preparing an offer, we go back to the hiring manager asking, is this budget okay? Even though you are aware of the budget, right? So hiring manager can do that.
Is a recruiter part of HR? Because this I can relate to this question because I have seen people telling that, "Arey, he was a recruiter. He was an HR. Sorry, not a recruiter. He doesn't know what a recruiter versus HR is. What typical HR is for him. So he's like, yeah, being a HR, he's getting laid off. He's the one to be laying off. So what do you tell about this?
We are not the one who will be laying off. Okay, it is defined by decided by different factors. So HR recruitment is a small part of HR. HR subject is very vast. It can be payroll, right? HRBP.
HRBP.
Yes.
Coming to talent. The training and learning development people. Correct. A lot of other things.
Recruitment is just a tiny part.
Only a tiny part of it. Great.
Everyone, we are back with another podcast. This podcast is about recruitment. Today we sit with Monisha Naidu, who is a decorated human resource professional with over 10 plus years experience. She is an expert in ITE and has handled multiple IT roles over the span of 10 plus years and still continuing. She is sharing a lot of insights on recruitment, about the processes and the roles and responsibilities involved around the recruitment role. So do like and subscribe for more such career-related podcast and watch completely. Enjoy.
Hello.
Yeah. I'm so grateful that you have come here. I mean, after so much of appointment, I know you have been busy, but thank you for coming in. Getting a date from you was
My pleasure.
great, Monisha. So, Monisha, I just want to let's start from the start. I mean, so what has been your journey? Yeah, you have done your bachelor's in psychology, right? And post that, what made you come into master's, to do your master's and come into recruitment? Can you walk through all your journey from bachelor's in psychology till here?
Okay, journey can be considered as roller coaster ride.
Okay.
So I did my bachelor's in psychology. Post that, I did my PGDBM.
Where was it?
Psychology was from Bangalore University.
Bangalore University.
Yes.
But why psychology?
I was interested in psychology. First thing is, I don't like maths and science.
Okay.
The only option left is something.
So you did your 12th standard in
Yes.
CM, it was PC and BC?
No, it was state syllabus, okay? State syllabus, it was like first PU and second PU.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Psychology was the main subject, psychology and journalism. Then they graduated in psychology and journalism again, and then went into PGDBM.
Okay.
Right? I didn't choose MBA because I wanted to get into a job as early as possible, but this is just a 1-year course.
Uh-huh.
Okay, which was into industrial relations and personnel management.
Okay.
Right? So, uske baad, I wanted to get into personal relations. So, I didn't, at that time, to 2010 May, the recruitment industry was booming. Right? So, I didn't wanted to wait for the right opportunity for PR. So, I started getting into the recruitment. So, my entire, half of my journey, and 80% of my journey is into consulting firms.
Okay. Got it.
I got into a startup during 2010. I started my career as a management trainee.
Okay. Was that in recruitment again? Into human resources?
Into recruitment.
Starting from your journey from
Yes.
the time you started your journey into corporate, it was into recruitment.
Recruitment, yes.
So you have right now 11 plus UX, 12 plus, 13 plus, how much it
13
is?
plus.
Oh my God, that's wonderful, amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So completely into tech hiring. Nowhere, I didn't get an opportunity for a non-tech hiring. So when I started my career, it was tech hiring. .NET se shuru ki thi.
Okay.
.NET developer.
Okay.
That was my first profile which I started working for.
Okay. Started hiring for.
Yes. Hiring for.
Into IT only?
Everything into IT.
Complete 13 plus years into IT
Yes.
itself. A little bit of here and there of non-IT does come.
Non-IT was just like 1 month wherein I was not able to close any positions there. Or maybe I didn't have interest in.
Actually, we'll come back to IT versus non-IT again. But first, I want to know, you started from psychology, came into masters, and you told about labor relations, right? Sorry.
Industrial
Industrial relations. So what do you mean by industrial relations? What was your course about? And the other thing as well, right? The industrial relations
And
and
personnel management.
right? So what
Correct.
is that?
It is more into labor laws.
Labor laws.
Yes.
Okay.
So I had option of getting into HRBP, which I was not okay with. As I told you, right? Recruitment industry was booming, and that where my interest
Correct.
got diverted.
I think that happened because at that time, even the outsourcing companies started coming to India, wherein there was cheap labors in India. They started, hiring for IT engineers in India itself,
Exactly.
and then of course the recruiters for IT people also came into the way. Okay.
So 13 years now, you can see like, so we have so many consulting firms, every nook and corner, and especially in a city called Bangalore, right?
Correct. So this consulting firm, do they only hire for Indian peeps? I mean, for the Indian organizations which are based out in India itself, this consultancy, I mean, you have worked in consultancy for 2 or 3 consultancy, if I'm not wrong. So those were actually hiring for the Indian organization itself?
Not really. They were US recruiters also. Consulting firms, they are end to end, right? So it's not only, they started off with Indian hiring. Okay. So then later, slowly as it started improving and all that, US recruitment started off. Yeah.
Again, US recruitment means, they are Indian recruiters are hiring US employees.
Yes.
Okay,
that is when the recruitment industry started looking at shift work.
Okay. So it was all because the recruiters in US were plenty, expensive a bit. I mean,
I'm not sure about that market.
But that might be the reason, right? That's why they're hiring Indian peeps for US market.
Yes, here compared to dollars, Indian rupees is much
Cheaper that way. Right?
Yes.
Yep, correct. Makes sense. So, you're talking about this consultancy. Can you put some limelight on that what way our day-to-day work, and since you have worked in a product-based organization as well, so what has been the difference between these two?
Okay, so anybody who wants to start into recruitment, right? I suggest like consultancy is the best place to start. Yes, you will have multiple roles. You will have multiple organizations at one go. You will be target driven, right? You will have that peak moment also where you, apart from recruitment, you'll be able to manage data also.
Okay.
So most of the consulting firms, they are not automated, right? Everything is a manual work. You'll start manual work from there.
Okay.
So it's not only sourcing that you will learn. You will also learn, engagement with the stakeholders in corporates, right? Business managers and all that. So consultancy is the base work for recruitment, I can say, the sourcing part.
So who were your stakeholders? I mean, there were a list of hiring managers for you. So for the people who doesn't know who hiring managers are and who are recruiters, hiring managers are people who actually hire for their team, and we actually support them in their hiring needs. So that is what hiring managers are. So coming to you, like hiring managers in consultancy, who are your hiring managers? Because in product, of course, you have cloud support engineers. If you're hiring for those people, the people who's managing are the hiring managers. So in consultancy, who are your stakeholders and hiring managers?
But it is clients actually.
Do you interact with them
Yes.
closely? Okay.
Maybe not in the initial start of your career, because you will be fixed into sourcing. You will have a team lead who will be interacting with the clients.
Okay, got it.
So clients and the team lead will have that stakeholder management and vendor management relationship.
Okay, but do you also negotiate with the candidates on this front?
Definitely, because we finish the initial. See, when we talk about sourcing, initially we talk about the compensation also. So budget is given to us, like we need candidates with so and so budget, within so and so budget, right? So initially we filter according to the compensation.
And what about closing their payroll? I mean, closing the offer.
Okay, so
in consultancy.
Yes, payroll will also be done in consultancy. So it is, initially it was like only the clients will close, the payroll stuff, but now it has come back into the RPO model, right? Or contractors, I can say.
Because I thought maybe if you are giving your services to some people, the pay, of course, the generation of payroll will be gained from that firm itself. But that is done from your side?
Yes.
Okay, you are the one to fix all the components, or there's standard components that you follow according to their
it was initially, but now the clients itself have started. Clients in the sense the corporate HRs, right? Who are in touch with the consulting people, right? They themselves close out the compensation deal.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then you seek approval from those people
Yes,
if
yes,
it fits
yes.
well or not. Okay. So Monisha, you are currently a team lead
Mhm.
at an organization, and you have worked in corporate big MNC as well. I mean, definitely, I think if people go through it, they'll realize what big MNC I've worked with. So, what are the key takeaways from in startups being a recruiter and in big MNC? Because while even I have worked in a startup, I feel the work is actually too dynamic. And as you told about consultancy, that the work is too much, and you learn a lot of again opportunities over there, a lot of new learnings there. So even I think that even startups have that potential to give you a good learning in that front. But what about your experience? What are your view on this? How do you see
Okay, so
startups?
anybody for that matter, right? If they are looking into a startup, if they have an opportunity in startup, I tell them please take it, because startup may it is like you will have a lot of exposure.
Correct.
Correct.
And you see end-to-end recruitment altogether.
Yes, yes.
In MNC, it is very segment-wise. Only this segment only you're going to take care.
So startups is not like they don't have any automated process, right? You will be able to do things from scratch. It gives you a lot of experience. So there is a difference when somebody gets into a place where the process is already automated. You have to follow just set of defined process rather than working it from scratch. So you in startup you might also get an opportunity to define the process, drive the process, right? So advantages are more in startup than an organization where the process is already set.
Okay, since we're talking about startups here, uh, one very competitive task you've done over there, I mean, which you thought you not be able to close it. Any challenges? I think biggest challenge that you face in startup in terms of role, uh, over the years that you've worked.
Okay,
Single
so every role has its own challenges.
How come?
The availability of the pool in the market,
But some profiles are too easy, I mean,
compensation.
comparatively to others.
Yeah, profiles are
What was the
easy, yes.
toughest one that you handled so far in a startup?
Toughest, is it?
Yeah.
Should I talk about the role?
Yeah, please, free to. We're not talking about organization anyway.
Okay, we had during 2014, now when I was working in one of the consulting firm.
Okay.
So Afaria MDM mobile device management was one of the toughest position that I closed.
Sorry, I can't comprehend that. What did you say?
It is
recall again.
Afaria.
What is Afaria? Afaria is the technology?
Technology, mobile device management.
Oh shit.
Yes, that was one of the toughest role that I closed.
Okay.
It was very niche that time. I'm not sure now how vast it is, but it was very.
Has it become obsolete? Is it still functioning? This this skill? I mean, I've never heard about it over the years.
I also didn't
Has
hear
it gone
about
blank?
that. It was only during that time I heard about that. I closed it and it's over.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it again.
How did you close it? What was your strategy behind closing that? And was it for a metropolitan city?
Yes.
Okay. Then a bit.
Bangalore only.
Yeah. Then though I think it was a bit easy and the location front, but technology was again. How did you hire? And that time I think while you were starting, LinkedIn was not too much famous at
Not
that
too
point of
much,
time,
yes,
right?
yes.
Only there were few portals like Naukri or Indeed or something.
Monster.
Correct.
Yes.
How did
There
you
were
manage to
only
do
two
that?
jobs, as I believe. Right?
Yeah. How do you manage to close that?
Naukri only, but we found a potential candidate who had knowledge of that particular tech skill. Though it was niche, we see. I always encourage even hiring managers or business stakeholders, right, to hire candidates who are potentially available. You can train them, even if they have the basic idea of what that particular skill is, right? So it was through Naukri only.
Okay.
Mobile device management experience था उस candidate में. So
But a follow-up question. Since you told, do you think your impact is there for hiring managers if you refer some candidate or see if there is a niche role which is not easy to close that? Do you think in that way? Because many candidates do think that, the recruiters are actually hiring managers, which is not the case in many of the cases. But do you think you have a slight impact at that front if you say that, this guy has a candidate and we can hire them like that way in a startup again? Like since you told right that he was potentially available, I think from your side, so you did manage to influence the hiring manager.
not influence, actually. We have to give some justification for the business also to be okay to hire a particular candidate.
I mean, you told how much niche role it is, how much difficult it is to hire.
Exactly. You give the pros and cons of hiring this particular candidate. So you see a lot of potential, then you can train anybody.
That has come from your side.
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of discussion involving
Yes.
about that.
A lot of mails, a lot of calls with the candidate as well, because the candidate, see, any candidate in technical technology, right,
Yes.
will be ready to learn new skills.
Correct.
You see where we are going from. .NET is nowhere available, very rarely available, I feel.
Yes.
Right? We hardly get .NET profiles.
Acha.
Right? Everybody have moved
To more
right?
advanced
Yes,
technology.
to more advanced technologies. So it's always better, if you don't find a skill in the market, it is always better to go to a potential candidate rather than just keep searching on and giving up.
Now I think this is a very good skill set that a recruiter should have, and people do talk about the soft skills that actually, when you talk about the developers in place, they have a lot of programming skills. They can showcase their skills, right? In the recruiter case, I mean, there are a lot of skill set which can't be evaluated, but you have to actually demonstrate that, as you said, like stakeholder management, that you have to do a to and fro of messages, mails to get that hired. And again, communication does matter, negotiation skills do matter. So I think, these skill sets are very much important, right? Anything you want to add in the skill set that a recruiter should have, a good recruiter should have?
We should always push back.
Push back?
Yes. When you
have backbone, right?
Have backbone.
Amazon principle.
Yes.
Okay. Have backbone. Commit and disagree.
Yes. You commit, and at the same time, you have to disagree.
Yeah.
You can't take everything on your head.
To the hiring manager.
Exactly.
So, again, coming back, since we are talking about IT and non-IT, so to the viewers again, what is IT? What is non-IT? Who should go to IT? Who should go to non-IT? And what is the differences? Again, I'm talking about including the pay scale as well. So, can you please tell the viewers about it?
When it comes to pay scale, it varies from industry to industry, domain to domain, organization to organization. Okay, so if you want to start a career in this competitive world, any kind of pay scale is fine. Just get into it, explore yourself, grow yourself. So whenever you start off with a higher pay scale, your growth is very limited.
In recruitment?
Yes, not only in recruitment, the technical, for example, the engineers also, I say. Like if you sit on a higher pay scale and again if you start, right, it's always a trouble, right? When you want to start looking out for change, you will hardly find industries matching your pay scale. Like 5-year-old with 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs and all, it's very competitive.
Even for big MNC, I mean, it's very hard for them to hire.
Yes.
I have actually asked for my friend who was earning like 12 LPA in 3 years of experience, being a developer again. But even the biggest MNC couldn't able to afford it. It was like, we are going to give her like 30 LP again, but that is too much. That doesn't come under our budget again. So, of course, that really matters. I mean, there are a lot of few opportunities only available for you to go to switch to another industry. Only
just imagine every year we have so many engineering graduates, so many graduates qualified.
We can get a lot of potential candidates then.
Of course.
Why to hire for a largest pay scale one if we have good potential candidates anyways in the market right now? Yeah.
There is another catch here when it comes to hiring, right? We shouldn't, instead of rejecting the candidates here and there, we have to try to move the candidate in and around the organization itself if they fit particular role.
Okay.
Right. So,
can you elaborate more on this?
For example, there are too many candidates. Okay, we have 2 or 3 positions for a particular skill. Right. So we line up many candidates. Correct. And instead of rejecting, like if you give an opportunity for a candidate who can showcase a particular skill, who has knowledge of that particular skill, why not train them and take? Right? Instead of rejecting.
Okay. Correct.
That's where the recruiter actually plays a role.
They actually evaluate the market altogether and they communicate the same to the hiring manager how much niche role that particular role is again.
Yes.
And then, I do agree with you. So you're talking about, but again, coming back to the IT versus non-IT. So what I've seen in the market is you need to be an IT recruiter to move again to a IT role, IT recruitment role. If you're applying to a new an organization where IT roles are available, IT recruiter role, then you need to be an IT recruiter before that. So what do you think the IT recruiter possesses some skill set that non-IT recruiter doesn't? Because I mean, you have been into IT completely, so you wouldn't have applied to non-IT roles, I suppose, right? What has been the reason?
So it was my interest.
IT.
IT.
Why? Why not one annoying?
Okay, so first thing I've seen my siblings as a software engineer.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
So from small I had that they sit and work in the computers. They take calls, this and all. So I had some thought about becoming a software engineer, but drawback was I didn't like science and maths. So coming into the recruitment of technical recruitment, IT recruitment, right? So we are somewhere close to IT engineers. If not, we are not developing any
You have
product.
to understand all the functionality of
yes.
IT engineers.
It's not necessary you have to be from a technical background only. I'm a BA psychology and journalism.
Yes.
So from journalism student, psychology student to technical recruitment, it's a big challenge,
Yeah.
right? So it's not that you have to be a engineering graduate to get into recruitment. Any graduation is fine. So there are so many consulting firms where they are hiring candidates from different backgrounds.
Okay.
So an engineer is interested in recruitment. It is their passion. They will get into it easily.
And especially computer engineers. I have seen few of the people who have moved from engineering, computer engineering background to here and then excelling into it.
Yes.
Because then they totally know what do, a specific role in. Because for us, who have not come from a CS, computer science background, for us, we need to communicate directly to the hiring manager to understand their needs. And also, I personally have communicated with the engineers as well. That what is a daily task? What do you do while I was hiring for IT engineers?
No, I have my own colleagues and friends who are from.
Acha. So you take advice from them again, right?
Of course, see, the learning.
But it becomes easier when you're a computer science engineer.
Yes, it
Don't you
becomes
agree?
easier because you will be able to access and know about the technologies more in detail than a non-engineering. It's not necessary like you have to be, as I told you, right? So initially when I started my career, when I had no knowledge about a .NET developer, right? There's no harm in asking the candidate itself.
Okay, what?
Yes, I've learned it that way. Not about the role, the technical skills. So we share them the JD. We share them the JD after we have a conversation.
Yeah.
The candidate gets into the first level of discussion. Okay, means screen select हो जाएंगे. उससे पहले we have a conversation. We prepare the candidate. That is when while we connect a bond, right? The recruiters are the initial phase of an organization. Yes, we connect a bond.
Yeah, even the final phase while onboarding.
Yes, of course. We still
that end-to-end cycle one, the initial and the final as well. Because final wise, I'm saying is they have plenty of offers after that.
Yes.
And then you have to negotiate at that front at last moment as well. Before 2 days, they are like, I have this offer. Can you please negotiate? So even at that time, we have to do a lot of hassle around.
Right? We create that bond or the rapport with the candidate.
It needs to be done.
Yes. So initially, when you're talking to the candidate, you can just frankly ask them, so I have a doubt here. What does it mean? Can you explain? Right? So candidates are also very helpful, like telling about the tech skills. If we don't understand, take notes. That's how I've learned.
Correct.
Right? I still have my candidates who have joined, in whom I've onboarded in previous organizations. They are still in touch with me. So it creates a bond wherein we become friends. Maybe hi, bye, ho jata hai kabhi kabhi. So they are almost available.
Correct.
Like either on WhatsApp or call, anything fine. So these engineers are readily available either to refer their friends. Okay, so from previous organization, I still have candidates who are reaching out to me. Oh, you left this organization.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
The bond that we created.
The bond we created. Yes, even I am able to recall candidate experience in my past organization, in a startup organization. So wherein this lady I have hired for, and she was actually laid off, I think, at that point of time while it was COVID era and everything. And why she was not selected in one role, I referred to her another role in the same organization. She got selected and everything. And then after some days after I left her organization, this lady comes to me and like, Ishan, I'm having some payroll issue. The one that you have promised already is not meeting the demand, the expectations what I'm expecting that times, and please elaborate. Though I left it that way, but she told, if you have anyone in the organization who can help me out with that and everything. And I say finally she invited me for her wedding as well.
Okay.
So that was something, that initial bond that we make that actually pulls you
right. See, job is
to a later
something
extent
which is needed for everybody. Right? You have business that is anytime always. Right?
Yeah.
So when we place somebody and they are like, thank God I have a job, they have their own responsibility. Each one, aapke paas bhi hai, even I have responsibilities.
Yeah.
So when you give that particular platform to anybody, yes, we create a bond.
Yeah.
Network plays an important role, right?
Correct. Everyone
Yes.
talks about networks, and that is foremost important. I mean, in our role, it is foremost important because, while you are making connections again on LinkedIn and everything. If you post a job, there are a lot of candidates reaching out to you because of your connections at that front.
Yes.
And even I have tried doing it from my own very close connections, where I have talked about someone to come to my organization, fill this job if they're looking out for something, and somewhere promised, this is the culture that we're having each and everything. And we are coming to this recruiter as because we have to sell jobs again, right? As a little bit of sales profession as well.
Little bit, it is more of a sales
More sales
profession.
profession. Okay, Monisha. So we're talking about this recruiter having this sales skill set, right? So what do you talk? What do you tell about this? Because corporate, again, big MNC, it doesn't matter, because when you are the people are actually looking forward to come into this role, that role in a big organization. And I feel big organization, mostly the fill-ups are done by the referrals itself, 30 to 40% or 50% of it at most. So but in talking about in a startup, how does your sales skill set matters in a recruitment role?
Okay, when I say sales skill set, it is the communication that matters. The first thing. Communication is like a document that you talk about the organization, its growth plan, or a roadmap, I can say.
But again, you have to sell your job, sell your company.
Yes, you have to sell your company, you have to sell your role, right? If a recruiter is not able to communicate properly, not able to explain in detail about the organization or the role, there you lose a candidate. For example, you get a call from organization, and when you ask what is the role and they are not able to explain properly, you lose interest, right? You'll have a second thought. Oh, this recruiter, for example, this recruiter is unable to brief about the job. So what should I? You will have a second thought, definitely, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm able to recall an incident. It happened in my, again, of course, in my previous organization, in a startup, wherein I had to actually, this HRP was closely following up, like how do you communicate your role to the candidates? Because in a startup, the main problem is they're getting good offers from good organizations. They're most likely to not join you. But again, few of the things that you can actually lucrate these candidates is like we are going to give you some stocks, or probably we are going to give you this, that, here and there, of again selling points which actually do that. So that is one skill set again that you need to have as a recruiter, right? The communication, which involves again your sales tactics, how you do that.
When you're able to talk confidently, there you catch a good candidate.
Yeah.
There's no confidence, you will not be. Initially, it is always a struggle. I always say it is like 360-degree learning. Either you learn from the candidates or from your peers, your colleagues, your top management, or even somebody who's who's a fresher or a new joiner, a trainee.
There are a lot of list of multiple skills that a recruiter needs to possess, right? Each and everything. I mean, soft skills.
Yes.
And many people don't really have it, and it only comes by, I think, experience. And some people have.
Today I'm sitting and talking with you in the sense I have some experience.
13 years, come on. 13 years.
Experience definitely. At least, right? Without experience, I won't be able to talk so much.
Yeah,
Right?
Correct.
So as I told you initially, it had been a roller coaster, right? So you have to go through all that to learn something.
Exactly, correct. Okay. Monisha, so talking about the day-to-day work, the day starts as a recruiter as what and ends as how, being a recruiter? How does a day go? Tell me about your day completely.
Okay, so I plan my day in advance. Okay, end of the day, for that for a particular day, end of the day मैं लिख लेती हूँ कि what has to be done, what has to be assigned, what is pending. So I have decided like not to keep my work pending. Day to day कर देना चाहिए. It will be sorted.
Okay. But since a recruiter handles a lot of multiple job positions at a time, how do you manage that? I mean, starting in a day, you have 4 positions to close in that particular day. How much time does it involve sourcing, calling candidates, or even cold calling, or closing offers, or offer generation? What is your...
So I set a time because I have to source for all 4 positions.
Okay.
Okay, keeping the priority ones first.
Priority means the one which is critical to the organization.
Yes. Critical position will be the first one, the less critical and the least critical. So I arrange it in that way, and I keep like 1 hour to 2 hour only for sourcing.
Okay.
Right. So like this 1 hour, I keep it for one particular position. Within that hour, I have to share the profiles to the hiring manager.
Hiring manager again. Every day you have to share.
Yes.
and every day there needs to be a pile of interviews already in place that should be ongoing in the back end.
So we have to do a market analysis. Okay, without market analysis, we won't be able to go ahead. We can't market analysis or the market intelligence, I can say. The availability of the candidates in the market, the pool availability, the range of compensation. Because end of the day, we have to close the position on a given time and date.
Yep.
Correct. So without the market analysis, committing to the hiring managers is definitely a no.
Because if you're committing wrong, that will be closed in 2 to 3 days only, and it takes like 7 to 8 days. That is
You
going to
have
push back.
candidates who are on hold. It is easy to push because interviews hua hoga, right? We know the feedback of those candidates as well. So any position comes which is matching those candidates, we can commit like we have this particular position. We have this particular candidate. Please take it forward. This one round ka interview ho jayega and it is closed. That is different. Hiring for a new role, you have to do some analysis, and then any challenges or bottlenecks has to be discussed with the hiring manager upfront.
Okay.
End of the day, there shouldn't be a question mark on us like, you committed, why this is not done.
Commitment is very much necessary into this. Yep.
So you have to be careful while committing.
Yeah. And again, it makes sense because if the position is critical, even their work is getting hampered. And they have in mindset that if they are hiring and this much time it is taking, again 2 to 3 months more it is going to take for that candidate to join in.
Yes. So when a new position is created within a week, it is really challenging to commit or tell the hiring manager, yes, we can close it. Definitely we can close. That is what we are like, search engineers, we can say. Okay. So that is how I term the recruiter.
Yep.
Okay. So when the interview happens, when the feedback comes, right, we analyze the feedback also. If there are a lot of rejections coming in, we check the feedbacks. If the feedback is not proper, we push back saying that give us the right feedback, because feedback ke saath hi hota hai na to find the exact candidates for this particular role. So I always say feedbacks, please take it. Detail, though we will not share it to the candidates sometimes. Maybe a few pointers wherein the areas of improvement can be told for the candidate, and the candidate can reapply after the cooling period, say 3 months or 6 months or something as such.
Cooling period is when he gets rejected, and after 3 to 6 months, there's given a buffer time where they can, work on their weak points and then come back again. Okay. Talking about this market intelligence, I mean, few of the tools are coming to market, and I personally use that, which is again LinkedIn search, which is called as LinkedIn Recruiter, wherein it is too much detailed. I mean, I always have imagined a platform where all the candidates are there and you can see the demographics of that particular role. So in terms of talk about LinkedIn search component, if you're looking for a specific role, you can actually see the number of candidates available for that front, and also the candidates who are open to work, because that is the biggest challenge. Even if there are candidates, there should be someone who is open to work, right? And also talking about how does talent acquisition comes into the role of putting up a new plant or a new setup and a new business in a location, is when you get to know how many resources are available in that particular location. That is where I think these tools actually matters a lot.
This is networking, right? LinkedIn is direct connect with the candidates. For example, the other job boards and all, you have to wait for the candidate to respond.
Right? LinkedIn
is like...
But LinkedIn only you can go through, only you can reach out through mails. Naukri is a very good tool again for calling, cold calling and other things. Very, very quick. Right now you're getting a candidate, call up.
See, not everybody are in Naukri.
Acha?
Yeah, these top management are not in Naukri. They are looking also changes.
I'm coming to this top management now. So how do you hire top management? Because what I have seen in my past organization and the person who was hiring for top management, because there are different recruiter who actually hire for top management, they actually make a list of all the people whom they can reach out. But what is your strategy? I want to know about top management. How do you hire top management guys?
Okay. So first thing, the employee referrals.
Okay.
That is what we bank on mostly.
Again, the top management people do refer their own set of connections.
Because when it goes to employee reference, it goes to the leadership level also.
Okay.
Right? They will know in their network like who is the right fit or whom they can refer to. So for leadership roles, it is better to bank on the employee reference.
How much percentage is that?
Like 40%, 40 to 50%.
50% employee reference.
Yes.
Okay. And what about the rest 50%? How do they hire?
Maybe connecting LinkedIn. Naukri, as I told you, right? Naukri, you will not find the leadership candidates. right? You will find a lot of them in LinkedIn.
Yep.
Mm.
And actually, you also see the engagements, how much is they engaging,
Exactly.
how much engaging with other
You also
posts.
have an option wherein you can go to their connections as well.
Yeah. And I'm coming to this top management hiring again. So what I've seen, how does LinkedIn hire helps a lot of recruiters is there's an average median tenure in an organization, right? Suppose if ABC organization is there, wherein the median tenure is 4 years. So LinkedIn automatically tells that the people are more likely to leave after 4 years working there, because that is a median tenure that people actually
Exactly.
invest there. So for them, I think that is a very good platform to hire those top management guys.
Also, for a particular skill, right? Suppose, example, Cloudera, if I can say,
Yeah.
right? There's an organization called Cloudera. They have their own organizational page in LinkedIn.
Okay.
Okay, so you will find employees working in Cloudera who are following in LinkedIn. So you can
Yes.
touch base on all those candidates.
Yes. And LinkedIn search, one more thing which I have seen has a very good impact on our hiring, is you actually get a list of companies where these set of people are there. I mean, then you can target only those top companies where these people are highly, employed at that organization. So I have, already. Personally, I have used that
Yes.
talked about the top companies where we can hire talents from. So very good platform, I think, LinkedIn right now, how it
Definitely.
is growing. For I think executive level, Naukri is again good for non-IT profiles. We can cold call, because non-IT people are most likely to be free. Maybe because of the field jobs they are doing, lot of sales job here and there. Uh, yep, that is there. And also, talking about this non-IT or non-IT, where I have also hired, non-IT is actually, um, I I don't know how to tell this, but comparatively easier
Easy?
than IT.
Okay.
Comparatively easy. Yep. Because
I feel it is the other way around.
no, it is a lot more easy. I'll tell you why. Because IT roles, you need a lot number of skill sets. While you're hiring for a sales profile, right? What is skill set you're looking for? Communication only, or having a sales background. If you search on LinkedIn only by the name of sales, a lot of people, I think, more than the given skills, Java developers are there in skills. But again, the communication part is only to be evaluated. So interview straightforwardly, you're going to just schedule that. And recruiter also plays a very pivotal role into hiring those non-IT, because you are the first person to communicate with a person, and hiring a sales professional requires communication. So while you're talking as a recruiter, you there and there itself you evaluate whether this guy is going to be a fit or not, that way. So it is done and dusted. I mean, you'll be able to get to know if you're if you are talked to a good candidate. Okay, this person, it seems good experience, good communication, he's most likely to be hired. So that's what I feel, because when I talk about in comparison analysis, when I do that, non-IT roles requires around, if average requires 4 to 5 days to close, the IT requires 10 to 15 days. That 2x times more. And also, IT people have a lot of more offers than non-IT.
Yes, I agree with the offer part.
Given the reason, they have 3 months of notice period, and non-IT people are only a maximum one month or maximum 2 months only. So that is
I
what I
agree
think.
with the offer part.
But also, pay component is less, Monisha.
Okay. I have no idea.
Pay
Maybe
component is
very
less.
less idea about non.
Pay component is less in non-IT. Yeah. This is the reason behind that.
Okay.
And IT people, I think, if I talk about with you, with all the rules, you have a lot of information about the rules altogether, right? About Java, about whatnot, big data, about sorry, what else?
.NET.
.NET, a lot of it. I mean, even the SQL as well, SQL developers and everything. But non-IT, I think they won't be having so much of possessing so much of skill set in terms of technologies, information, and we do need to have to do a lot of hard work in also knowing that specific role. For non-IT, it isn't. So that way, I think non-IT is a bit easier, but not too much challenging. But
Okay.
IT is of course challenging and pays.
I have a thought like I have to try some non-IT hiring as well.
You can do, but I would never recommend you leaving this IT.
No, I will never leave this
because this is very competitive. It gives you it keeps you on the edge.
No, it was my interest to get into IT.
Yeah.
Right, I told you, right? The same thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, Monisha, since you are IDE, Inclusion, Diversity and Equity Specialist, you have got awards in your past organization. I have seen that, some bonuses, a good sum of amount of money, which I do consider that, because that is in dollars. So you have been into an exhibition, right?
Yes.
Can you please tell me about that? job fair
Yes.
about ID again.
Yes, IDNA.
Okay, so the viewers of course wants to know about this ID because it is lot more into practice, and also because I've seen and study wherein 48% of people all across the workplace they actually do consider this ID part.
Yes.
So what is this, and what do you think it plays a role, and how do you hire those people?
Okay, now we are going towards a term called employment for all. Okay, so we are considering candidates from every community, either let it be PWD or LGBTQ plus or a diversity, right? So we are giving a lot of importance, not only this organization, but there are many organizations who have been doing from early, past. Even the veterans are being hired. End of the day, what it is, you have, irrespective of what community are you in, what background you are from, right? End of the day, the job has to be done.
Correct. That actually makes sense totally. So ID, I think for hiring those people requires a different level of, skill set, and of course a lot of other information and knowledge that you need to have at that front, because it's not a cup of tea for everyone. So how do you hire ID candidates? Is there a community that you pitch into, or there is some event or somewhere? And what has been your experience in hiring ID candidates?
Okay, there are consulting firms who are supporting, who are especially into this DNI and PWD, yes, veterans and all that. Yes.
Achha, specific organizations.
Yes, organizations in the sense are consulting firms who focus on this, because they also know, like, we are all driven towards these communities.
Yeah.
Now we are very inclusive these days,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so we the consulting firm supports. We have job fairs.
Okay. And also you can tap into a lot more communities, right? A bit like
every we touch base on every community.
every community.
Yes.
You ask the moderator, the admin.
Sorry.
You are these sort like what these groups when you're talking about. How do you find these groups? Where are these groups in? Facebook or in physical?
Not really. See, it's, as I told you, it is networking, right? You post, there are people who have been graduated, engineering graduates who are from these communities, wherein the jobs are not reaching them. If they are from a remote place with not much opportunities and they are unable to relocate, right? If they are not able to travel.
How do you find a specific person then? Communities mean
It
communities
is a very sensitive issue.
on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn, yes.
There are communities on LinkedIn.
There are communities on LinkedIn. It has come up now.
Okay.
So every organization runs a job fair for these communities.
Okay.
Right?
Who
Like just
focus
like how
upon-
you give advertisements, right? First, when I started off with these communities like PWD, veterans, and
Okay.
LGBTQ plus, it was a newspaper ad which was given. Okay, so it started from there, and now we
Okay.
have reached.
Way back in 9 to 10 years ago.
Yes, it was a newspaper ad actually. I remember, I vaguely remember an advertisement wherein Monster job board posted
Okay.
this advertisement. Okay, likewise, same a space for job had, LGBTQ and all that stuff. I'm not sure about which year, but a time when newspaper was actually the big thing before these technologies could come in. Right, so it was from that time, but now talking about these communities, it was an issue, right?
Correct.
People were not able to come out of it. Now we have progressed a lot, right? We encourage people to come out, whatever community they are in.
And they should belong to that. They should join to that community, because it will be easier for us or to hire, because many of the organizations do actually have a they're open to hire candidates, each and every candidate, right? And they are tapping, if they are coming to join some community or something, it will be easier for us also to tap into that, and to have our target audience
Every
as them.
organization is accompanied, with facilities for these communities.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
So
I have
for
seen,
example,
I've seen.
PWD.
People are working towards that.
Yes, we have candidates who have joined the organization, right? Everybody wants to progress. We have reached a place where the society doesn't want to ignore such communities. There are people who are still not able to come out of it, but we are encouraging them to come out. It is okay.
And
It is
also
okay.
that ensures a safer environment for the other peeps as well in that organization. While I'm able to, I'm able to recall that one incident wherein, my past manager has told not to hire from a specific community, and that was let down for me. And that point itself, I was like, dude, this is not gonna work. I mean, I'm not feeling safe here and there. If you are asking me not to hire from that specific community altogether, I can't.
No, as a recruiter, why are you there in this, in this profession if you can't support somebody who is actually looking for job, right? It is their bread and butter, irrespective of what background they are in. They have their responsibilities as,
And they're going to fulfill that. You should not ask someone to not join because of some specific community of that is let down for all the employees altogether.
Exactly.
When others get to know about it, of course, they're not going to.
There are awareness, before these job fairs and all. There are a lot of awareness which has been circulating everywhere, especially in LinkedIn, I can say, right? So we are very.
Everyone is working towards that, and I think there is a hierarchy of all the individuals who are working towards that, starting with senior managers of ID who takes care only about those roles completely, who are again looking forward to make it more.
So we have managers from these communities.
Yes, no?
Yes. So they are an example, like irrespective of what background you are from. If you have the will, you can do it.
Correct. So Monisha, now touching some points on the technology, right? So, you are the best person to answer that, since you have seen the growth of recruitment. No, of course. I mean, you have seen the complete ups and downs of recruitment altogether.
Yes.
How much he has evolved over the time. So, talking about your experience 10 to 11 years back, while you were posting on newspapers and now coming down to posting on LinkedIn and very other advanced technologies that have been incorporated in recruitment, what have you seen? And what have you seen that how it is moving towards, which way it is moving towards, the whole recruitment thing?
It is very advanced now. Okay, as I have my own colleagues who were, are standing with the job boards.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh
my
my
seniors,
God.
I can say.
Okay.
Yes, they were standing in the job boards to fulfill a particular position in their organization.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a very new thing. I mean, yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So after that itself, the consulting firm started up, and now we have, our own recruiters working in the corporate world, sourcing for their organization, right, with different programs, different channels. So we have advanced a lot in terms of the job boards that we have now.
And there is also ATS again, which you use hugely.
Yes.
Very easy
So
to.
recruiters have their own internal database, irrespective of what ATS they are using.
Internal database?
Internal database.
What is that?
In the sense, see, for example, I'm sourcing a candidate. I make a data of the candidate that I've sourced. Okay, it is my database. You can.
I used to maintain an Excel for
I
that.
still maintain that.
Yeah?
Yeah. You source any candidate.
But why do you do that?
It is for our reference, like to have a, I can always reach out to that candidate again and see. I make a note of the status also, if they've rejected, within how many months and what was the reason for their rejection. That's why I always say, if the candidate is getting rejected, get the proper feedback so that we can reach back to the same candidate if we have an opportunity in next 3 months, next 6 months, or the next year.
Or even if you switch your organization, you have a potential pool of talent where you can reach out again.
This can be used as a freelancing database also. It is not a must that you have to have Naukri.
Exactly.
It is not a must you have to have LinkedIn.
So there is a rumor circulating around wherein they say that all the recruiters have their a collective database where if in an organization, if that candidate is rejected, they refer it to some other people, and vice versa, it happens that way. Does it happen?
It does happen.
It does happen.
Yes.
Okay, have you done that?
I've not done that, but I've seen people doing that.
Yeah, they make their own group. I mean, this person is good. He has been rejected in the 5th round or 4th round of the interview. You can ask in your organization, if you can fill that.
See, within an organization is fine. Outside the organization,
Acha.
actually a
But I have listened about it. There's a rumor circulating. I mean, I have talked with a recruiter who was doing that.
Okay.
They were recruiters in the past organization, in one organization itself, and then they switched into a different organization, but still they maintain that. I mean, this candidate is rejected now, and there is no recycle period or something, you can see. And same happens for them as well. If there are very potential candidates.
Within an organization is fine, but outside the organization, if you're still working in that particular organization, it is a compliance issue.
Complaint issue, no?
Yes, definitely.
Because you're sharing candidates info to other person.
So there's something
Which
called
should be-
moonlighting, right?
Moonlighting is something I think along with your
Working-
job you're doing.
Yes,
Working
yes,
into
you can't do that.
organizations. But you know
You
what?
come with a clause.
But you know what? Moonlighting thing is a website now.
Oh, really?
Some not by the name Moonlighting completely. So it doesn't spell that way like Moon LYT something.
Okay.
And that actually ensures that even if you're working in that single organization, we won't disclose your working with other organization as well that way.
No, each and every person who is hired, especially in recruitment, go back to your offer agreement. There is a clause.
But if the other party is not telling that you're working, how you'll get to know anyways?
Okay, suppose, see, it's a network I told you, right? Everybody communicates.
Somewhere if
The
you get
world
to
is
know.
round, keep in mind. And especially the recruitment industry is actually round. You will meet people again.
We're talking about, a list of people that will maintain their share it. Yeah, you're talking about moonlighting thing again. Yeah.
Yes, that is actually not right when you're working in an organization. It is like you sharing your sensitive data, right? You leave that organization, and if at all you have that data, that is fine. You can't do being in that organization, right? So at the end, we are providing job platforms to everybody, if not here, there. But in an organization, that is fine. If one particular business, the candidate has been rejected, keeping the feedback, you can try with another business if it is fitting the role.
Correct. So Monisha, suppose when I'm talking about service-based organization where the employee base is huge, very big service-based organization, and actually I have talked with some employees who don't even know who is their HRBP, who is their HR. Only they know about recruiter who has hired them, and I think their role is very limited when it comes to tell some complaint or something as such. While we're talking about moonlighting, if I get to know a specific person in moonlighting and I want to do their HRBP in a service organization, you may never know who the HRBP is. And again, I think a lot of people are doing moonlighting in that situation. I mean, when there's no one to be responsible enough, even they don't know who their HRBP is and who is gonna reach out for their complaint. So I think that is what moonlighting is coming to practice a lot.
Organization, they have to give a set of see, nobody's permanent in an organization, right?
Correct.
Yes. So they have to give some clause wherein you can't do that. It has to be mentioned briefly, or during the induction, they have to read it out, to the candidates who have joined. That's when it gets highlighted.
And nowadays,
so many points, example me, for example, like so many points, I'll sometimes lose interest. Who's going to read so many things? I've got my package, I've got my designation, date of joining, and it's done.
Yeah.
Right? And we then go back to the probation period, then comes the notice period. So we miss in between points, right? It's not only me, there are many people who are doing that. But I suggest people to read each and every point and then take a call.
And there could be adverse effect.
Yes. Compensation is not the only thing.
Only thing. And right now, I think even recruiters need to tell them about moonlighting this thing. And there should be a written clause on this, on their agreement paper as well. That if this is going to happen, then because a lot of people are doing
it. A lot in the consulting firms, I can say.
Service based.
Yes. Consulting firms.
Even consulting.
Because they have a number of clients. So any skill that matches, we just pull this candidate. At the end of the day, they have to place a candidate. Correct. Right? They are target driven actually. So business bhi chalna padega. Right, yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. So Monisha, talking about now the future of recruitment, because right now you might heard about chat GPT and everything, how it is changing dynamics of a job completely. And since I think chat GPT can't able to replace completely the role of a recruiter, but I mean that is a milestone where we are going towards. I mean, you have seen the evolution of the recruitment totally coming 10 years back and now, and probably after 10 years, where do you see recruitment? Because a lot of things are getting automized. I myself have worked in one or two of them. I am able to recall when I joined the big MNC. So the interview scheduling was manual. I was surprised to know that. I was very set aback, because I thought I'm able to automate that right away like this. And when I think when the hiring everything was closed, and we had exceeded our expectations, so that time I started working on this in a month span or two. I was able to automate the scheduling process. So where do you think it is heading towards, and what is the future of recruitment now?
Okay, so
In the recruitment world?
today we had a discussion about a bot.
Is it?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, so what we are doing is everything manual. Manual in the sense, yeah, most of the things are manual. We are not just occupied with the automation stuff yet. We are in process. It's like we are taking some baby steps. So I can see like recruitment will definitely be replaced by a bot.
Is it? Which all thing? Like, can we start?
For example, we have, sourcing can be done. So what we are doing with Naukri, we are just giving the keywords and you get profiles.
Yes.
That is automated.
Automated mails will be sent to them.
Yes.
And when that is the habit, then even candidates
And
will
for
get to know.
example, when the candidate replies an immediate, if at all there is a bot which identifies the candidate's interest, they immediately scheduling, but it will take care,
Yes.
right?
Or a primer call or a small test, a random test which is based by the AI itself.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So
And-
what we were doing is something like going and clicking for the assessment to go.
Yes.
Now this, if it is taken
And
care,
evaluating whether that is he has passed or he or she has passed or not. But the
get
AI,
results also.
the automation, the machine learning can easily do that.
Yes.
I mean, if it is meeting that,
So just imagine like where we were a couple of years ago, and now we have everything automated in an organization. Don't you think we will go back a little more further, replacing recruiters with bots?
but I really appreciate the correct I mean the things that you were telling, because unlike other recruiters who are still in their mindset that it may not be automated because they feel that whatever they are doing it can't be replaced by AI or something. But definitely, I do agree with what you're saying. And also talking about the I'm so sorry, the technical competencies that we are evaluating, that can be automated, the random questions, the random technical questions, but the cultural fit, I mean the soft skills I'm talking about, I don't think so.
Cultural fit is
How do you evaluate that?
Okay, cultural fit. There are a set of principles in an organization to see the culture.
Only evaluated by a human, not by any.
Maybe one round can be done by a human.
Exactly.
That round maybe from the hiring manager itself. Correct. So why recruiters are needed when there is a bot? Just one round can be taken for that cultural fitment. A hiring manager can take one round. A 30 minutes of discussion can decide something.
Exactly. Yep. Agreed. So what about the negotiation part?
Oh, negotiation is again.
There needs to be a recruiter.
Yes, they need
Negotiation, of course.
recruiter. Hiring
And
manager
negotiation
also can
is skill.
negotiate. There are certain times when at the end of the day, while preparing an offer, we go back to the hiring manager asking, "Is this budget okay?" Even though you are aware of the budget, right? So hiring manager can do that. So in the same cultural fitment call, another 15 minutes goes in negotiation. It's done.
But negotiation is a tedious task. I mean, that involves a lot of to and fro, and also knowing about the market as well. So, do you think hiring manager, along with their responsibilities, can be able to handle this?
When you say market, a particular candidate will have a number of offers. He has at the end of the day, he is the one who
And following up also, Monisha.
following up. If any candidate is interested in an organization, definitely you don't have to follow up. The candidate likes the organization, the role of the organization, where he can foresee the growth. Why do you want to follow up? Correct? So, example me, I like a particular organization. I won't even bother about the compensation. Maybe it's a brand, maybe a competitive offer that they've given, or my growth in that organization where I can see for a couple of years now. I won't give a chance for anybody else to take away that from me.
Correct, Monisha. Yep. So, yeah, I think a large number of responsibilities can be taken over by AI. That is for sure. I mean, when I talk about this, I mean, right now, when there are 5 recruiters available, there might be only one available. That is required after 3 years.
See, when you say about AI and the market, right? So there are tools currently which will automatically source candidates for you and gift.
I have seen few organizations who are doing this. You can.
It's their own product.
Own product, yeah,
Yes.
own product. They are doing that. I have seen that, and lately that's what I realize.
When
You need to
that
evolve. You need to evolve. You need to have hands on these machine learning things, tactics. You need to have hands on AI, so that you can be. That is the way of upskilling yourself as a recruiter.
right when a particular a tool is doing the sourcing for you, why won't it generate an automated email asking for the candidate to attend the interview? Automatically, it will blocks the calendar of the hiring manager and the candidate.
Yep. I think the jobs are going to reduce in this front now. Uh,
But this year it is kind of flat.
no, I'm talking about like 5 to 10 years after
Five to
that.
10
But again, you need to upskill in terms of
Yes.
knowing all the technologies here and there. Of anything, you can't be a traditional recruiter calling up
We didn't
candidates.
have AI, ML before. We didn't have big data before.
Yeah.
Now where are we?
Yeah.
Right?
Everything
It
is
is all
coming, and
yeah.
it is coming exponentially into all the
Yes,
things.
yes, definitely.
A lot more you need to practice now. Great, Monisha. So we are going to touch upon the top searches on Google about recruitment.
Mm-hmm.
So you can give one-liners or a sentence or a paragraph on that.
Okay.
I'm going to go quickly now.
Okay.
Okay. So, is a recruiter a good job?
Of course, yes. It is.
Yep. How?
It is amazing job.
Okay. Okay.
It is the most difficult job, and especially for a non-tech background where you have no knowledge about tech skills and you get into recruitment for IT hiring.
You get a lot of respect.
Yes.
And people should follow a recruiter because they always come up with jobs. potential jobs.
Exactly.
Okay. Second one, is a recruiter part of HR? Because this I can relate to this question because I have seen people telling that, "Arey, he was a recruiter. He was an HR. Sorry, not a recruiter. He doesn't know what a recruiter versus HR is. What typical HR is for him." So he's like, "Yeah, being a HR, he's getting laid off. He's the one to be laying off." So what do you tell about this?
We are not the one who will be laying off. Okay, it is defined by decided by different factors. So HR recruitment is a small part of HR. HR subject is very vast. It can be payroll, right? HRBP.
HRBP.
Yes.
Coming to talent, the training and learning development
Yes.
People.
Yes.
Correct. A lot of other things.
Recruitment is just a tiny part.
Only a tiny part of it. Great. So it's just a part of HR who doesn't involves all the other components of HR.
Exactly.
It is a small segment of into HR itself. Great. Is a recruiter a hiring manager?
Can be a hiring manager.
If he is hiring,
We
for
are
his-
also a
he
hiring
doesn't have a
manager
team.
when we get into from lead. If I become a manager, I am the hiring manager.
The one who hires for their team is a hiring manager. Recruiter is someone who helps with the hiring manager. Yep.
Exactly.
Great. So, do recruiters check LinkedIn?
Of course, yes. I am on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
My maybe when I'm not able to sleep in the night, right? So I browse LinkedIn a lot.
Okay. What about the candidates? If a candidate you have chosen from other platforms, do they check their LinkedIn?
Yes, they do check for opportunity.
Okay. What about you as a recruiter? Do you check their LinkedIn?
I do check if their profile is available for a particular role that I'm hiring. Of course,
Do you
I will check.
validate with LinkedIn?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So, do recruiters charge job seekers?
No,
Never.
No.
Never.
No.
A big no.
a big no.
Yes. Because there are scams ongoing where they impersonate themselves as recruiters and charge hefty amount of money and they run away.
So there are, for this point, there are organizations telling that, posting a couple of times, maybe in the past I've seen, they come out with a clause. We do not charge.
Money for that.
Yes, please do not pay the recruiter.
Talking about one of the incident with my friend, he actually had paid some 2K, 3K to
Be a scam.
a recruiter. Yep, a scam. A recruiter, and they have promised that you'll be getting 5 to 6 interviews. And what I feel is, he got a random WhatsApp call saying that this is an interview sort of thing. So they themselves might have hired someone to take the interviews, saying that, I am from this company, that company.
There are, yeah. There is a lot of things happening right now. Even I get, WhatsApp messages or normal messages. You must also be getting like, I'm a project manager.
I
With so and so.
I don't know much.
I was working in that organization, and from that organization's name, I get a message telling that please apply to this link. So it's all scam. We do not charge.
Take out all my frustration into those messages. I sometimes screenshot those messages to my friends and then laugh at all about it. I reply, I do some another level things.
Yes.
Okay, great. So, do recruiters blacklist candidates?
No, we do not.
But in our past organization, we have done. I mean, there was a big no from the.
See, blacklisting, there are certain there are certain no poach, you can say, right? There are certain organizations where we can't hire candidates. It's not that we are going to blacklist them completely for now. Maybe in future we might hire those candidates back. Maybe a couple of universities, when we find some fake candidates from fake universities with fake certificates,
then we block it.
we do that. But it is not left, right, and center that we have blocked it.
But sometimes I feel because of the ill behaviors, we do actually
See, ill
blacklist?
behaviors, I don't think it is right. But sometimes, see, I have some issue at home.
like that,
Yes. Why should we block? Maybe that particular-
empathizing with that
Yes,
candidate.
exactly.
But few of them do, because I personally have blacklisted few of them, and there was very serious issues that they have done. So that was not at all
Maybe
accepting.
I haven't come across anything as such, but yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay, so do recruiters check GitHub or
Yes,
other platforms? Yeah,
yes.
the scores, how much they're
We
active
do,
into
we
that.
do.
Correct. Okay. So do recruiters call to reject candidates?
Call to reject candidates.
Yes.
I do. I send an email if they are rejected.
And I think that is a culture that makes you do it. The company's culture.
There is what I can say. There is a quote which runs in candidates' mind that HRs don't get back. They will say like, we will get back to you, but they don't get back to us either through emails or calls. Okay, but that is something where we have to eradicate that particular thought process in any candidate, right? So we have to develop that, a notion or a respect for any particular recruiter, where they say any particular recruiter comes back telling the candidate, sorry, it's a reject. These are the weak areas. You just see the change. The candidate respects you. They will definitely be in touch.
Yeah, that is a part of candidate experience again.
So if it is a large pool, we won't be able to call the candidates. That is for sure. I agree. Okay, but one email which goes out to the candidate informs them that yes, they were not qualified.
And also, if it comes from the organization itself that you're communicated and that is a part of KPI, that should be for every recruiters.
Emails going. Even if the automated emails or rejection emails are going, we recruiters send a separate email that we are not going ahead with your candidature.
Correct. Cool. Moving on to the next one. Do recruiters work on weekends?
Yeah, yes. We do.
We have to.
We have to. See, the sourcing, the job posting that we do, the first thing that we do as a recruiter is the job posting, right? We do at night. Reason being, first mail when the candidate opens, it might be ours. Okay. Another thing is, at night we will not have any calls coming, no Microsoft Teams, calls coming or pings coming. It is all silent. We can concentrate on research. We work at night. We work on weekends.
And weekends, given the reason that many people are actually available, all the employees, and they want to reach out on those times when they are free.
Yeah, that is available. Plus, if at all you want to fill a critical position, weekend drives happen. There are a lot of
drives happening on weekends itself. Yep. Yeah, because then they have leave on those days. Yes. Great. The last one, do recruiters get commission?
Okay, consulting firms do get, yes, based on their performance, the bonus. It is not the right term as commission, but yes, the bonus. If you meet a target, you get your incentives.
Yes. So, a very interesting thing that has happened lately, while I was working into the operations part of recruitment. So, I got that was not like recruiting candidates are not a part of my job then. So I got some good, I do some here and there of research. I got good candidates and I effort that, and they got hired. But the biggest letdown was I didn't get anything because I was a part of recruitment. So that
any organization.
But other people do get engineers if they're referring, they're totally getting it.
Engineers will get. See, we are search consultants, we who fulfill the position.
But even if someone who is not directly linked to recruitment, but they are part of recruitment hierarchy, So even those people don't get it.
They don't get anybody in the HR field. They will never get.
So in consultancy, the bonuses we get, no commissions part of it, anything. In product based, of course not.
Of course not. You will have your performance rated on based on that. Okay, maybe your promotion is based on the performance or the goals that you have met. But something called commission, no.
No, correct. Fine. So I think we are done here, Monisha. Thanks a lot for your time. Of course, it was nice talking to you again, and I welcome you again.
I'm always available. You tell me when you want me to come, I'll come.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.